Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of the DayZ Beginner's Guide series. I hope you all had a good holiday, whatever you may have celebrated, and a happy new year to everyone. Sorry for the no video on Tuesday. I had just gotten back into town from the holidays and stuff like that, so I just wasn't able to post a video. But I've been contemplating, throughout the holidays, when I was visiting the family and stuff like that, I was trying to think of other aspects of the game that I could cover for you guys. I like what the series has been so far, as far as if someone were to turn on the game for the very first time and they had no clue what they were doing, I could help them get up and running in the game, and then from there understand all the different aspects of, like, from a beginner's perspective, what the game has to offer. And I think what I'm going to do is, this will be the, as you can tell by the title of the video, this will be like the finale of this series. I'm gonna go over like some looting routes, some of the stuff, now that you understand the game as a whole, and how to find food, clothes, what it means if they're damaged, how to find weapons, how to shoot the weapons, and all that kind of stuff. I think I'm gonna wrap this series up now by showing you guys some of the looting routes that I took while I was playing the game with my buddies, and some routes that can prove to be pretty beneficial if you can survive long enough. Now, a lot of people like to go over like the best loot spots in the game. What I prefer is just giving you guys like a brief rundown of a couple good routes to take, that can lead you to the northern parts of the map, where it's going to be high tier loot, a lot of PvP. So this will kind of be like the end all be all episodes, where you know what you're doing now. Now I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a like path to follow, and you guys can, choose the rest of your journey from there. I think I'm also going to leave my comments open for any type of recommendations you guys have for either maybe a part 2 to this series, where I can go maybe a little bit more in depth or cover some more advanced parts of the game. If you guys want to see that, let me know. I've also been thinking about maybe covering some other games, but doing this type of format. So one game that I'm playing a lot right now on Twitch is Escape from Tarkov, because the wipe happened over the holidays. If that's a game you're interested in, and maybe you're new to it and you want to experience kind of like a beginner series for that, I can always put that together. I'm pretty familiar with that game. So yeah, let me know down in the comments below, one, if I should make a part 2 covering certain topics, or two, if I should just cover a different game but in the same format. Yeah, I'd appreciate it very much if you could drop a comment down below and let me know what you guys think would be good for the channel. But yeah, without further ado, let's hop into the I Survive map of Chinaris, and I can give you guys a brief rundown of some of these routes. All right, guys, we are looking at the map of Chinaris. So some of the routes that I like to go, obviously, you're going to spawn anywhere from Cherno up to, let me zoom out here a little bit. You can spawn Cherno up even more, like, I guess you could say northeast of Brezino. So it all just depends on where you spawn in the game. I found myself spawning the most either at Cherno, Electro, or Solnishny. That's just my experiences from playing the game. You could spawn, if we zoom in a little bit, you could spawn at Kami, you could spawn up here at Nizhnoy or at Brezino. So it just depends on where you spawn, and to figure out kind of what route you're going to take. I'm going to run you guys through 2 routes. Like I said in the previous videos, I like keeping these videos somewhat short. So I will only go over 2 routes, but they kind of cover the same basis and the same thought process. So if I were to spawn either at Kami or Cherno, my first priority would be getting to Electro, mainly because it's one of the bigger towns, and there's more direct like routes north that I know of personally. So if I were to spawn at Cherno, I would probably take the time to find maybe some better clothes and some food, and maybe like a basic melee weapon, and then I would head out and work my way to Electro. Once I got into Electro, I would top off all my food, top off all my water, because there is a well there. And it's been somewhat of a journey. You're going to want to top off on your water when you get there. And then take the time to loot here. There are the little military tents. There's the hospital. There's the school. So there's a lot of buildings here to loot. and you could maybe pick up like a weapon, or maybe like a little armor carrier slash like plate vest, whatever you want to call it. I know like the police stations can have them. Once I was good here, once I'm good at Electro, I would head north up this route here, and I would follow it up to Staroy. Now there are some spots along the way. You can stop at Cometa. That's a decent little spot. And then there's this little spot here as you just leave Electro. It's like a bunch of little houses up here. So what you can do, and what me and my buddy did one of the times we took this path, was we stopped here, we killed the chicken, we got into one of the houses, started a fire, and then threw the hot chicken in our shirt. So that way when we made it up to Cometa, we had something warm in our shirt to keep us warm through the journey. And then if we got hungry enough and we ran out of the other food, we had that extra food to spare. Once you get into Cometa, there's really not much besides a hospital. So if you happen to get sick, stop here, as it's going to help drastically if you can find some tetras. And then there's a well to top off your water. From there, you can keep going north and go into Staroy. Staroy is like one of the bigger central areas of the map. I guess you could say not central, but like, I mean, if you look at the map, it's huge, right? You're clear down here, but it's kind of like north enough to where you can find some decent loot and keep going north. One spot that you're going to want to check out for sure is this teeny little like military area on the way to Staroy. You can find some vests, some better guns if you're lucky enough. So keep an eye out for that along your path. Same kind of premise at Staroy. You're going to want to top off if you need to stop by the hospital. Stop by the hospital. There's a well to top off your water, and then there's plenty of houses to loot for anything you might need along the way. After you leave Staroy, it's kind of up to you where you want to go. What I've seen a lot of people do is they'll travel northwest to Starry Sober. This place is very popular. You can find a lot of PvP action up there, and it's a huge town. There's so much to do here. I know a lot of people like to do that. If you wanted to take that route, I would just travel. So this is the hardest part when it comes to the game, is these paths make it very clear where you're going, especially if you're new to the game, but you're very out in the open on these roads. So maybe someone has already been up north, has, you know, some form of a sniper and a scope on it. They could be sitting up here knowing that Staroy is somewhat of like a popular town. If you're a fresh spawn and you want to travel to Staroy, they could be chilling up here waiting for you to just walk down this road. So one thing to keep an eye out for are these black lines. These are the power lines. One tip that I've mentioned before is if you follow these, it'll always take you to a major town. So you could always follow these through the mountain area to this road to skip this. It's kind of like a little shortcut you could take. But yeah, just kind of stop along the little towns as you make your way to Starry. Once you get to Starry, you kind of do the same thing, loot up, stop by the hospital if you need to, fill up your water. From there, you can go either further north into the airfield. Now the airfield is like the end game for this route. So you would go to Starry, loot up what you need to, and then head that direction. What a lot of people do as well is, because this path alone, right, this, if you do this in one day, this is a long journey. Like this is hours upon hours upon hours of journeying, of walking. So a lot of people, what they like to do is they'll call it quits there for that day. The next day they get on, they'll kind of make their way there. It's kind of personal preference. But once you get to Starry, you can either head to Vibor, or you could go to the airfield. Now, the airfield's super hot. It's full of military loot, as you can tell. So this is kind of like one of the end game spots. It's very popular. So just if you end up going there, just stay sharp, just in case. That would be kind of like the first route I would take, would be something like that, where you travel kind of northwest. Now the other route I'm going to cover is, and this is, I would recommend this if you spawn on this side of the map. So anywhere from Cami to Cherno, I would recommend this route. Like I said, you know, I'm not going to give you like a term of like, you could get this done in 3 hours. It's like, that's pointless, because now you're just sprinting the whole time, running. You're getting cold because you're sweating. Your energy and your hydration are depleting faster because you're burning calories. It's like, I would rather personally be told, hey, do this route because it leads to really good loot, but take your time. So that's what I'm going to say to you guys, is if this is a route that, you know, seems promising and you like it, do it, but take your time. You know, stop by each town, just because you can never have too much food and too much water, because, you know, what if you take the wrong turn and now you're lost and you have no clue where to go? At least you have supplies on you to survive. So yeah, that's kind of the first path. If you spawn in this area here, would just be go up to the airfield. Now the other path I'm going to cover in today's video is if you were to spawn like on Brezhnev side. So you can spawn anywhere along this area and at Solnishny. So if you're in the Solnishny area, or further, I guess you could say like northeast of Brezhnev, then loot up where you spawn if you can. You know, find some better clothes, find some food, find some water, and find like a melee weapon of some sort. Make your way to Brezhnev. If you're spawning Brezhnev, you're fine. Once you get there, there's plenty of loot to go around. You have plenty of wells, and you have like a little police station to where you can maybe find like a vest of some sort or a pistol. So, and then this town right here, this is technically part of Brezhnev, but it's like a little bit of a way away. And here you have a military spawn, and then like a bunch of empty cars you can loot, and a bunch of houses too. So this kind of area is somewhat similar to Electro, as you can pretty much get just about as much gear as you can from Electro. Now from there, what I would do is I would head west into Dubrovka, or however you pronounce it. From there, this is kind of a smaller town, but you do have a well there to pop off on your water if you need to. And then there's two kind of paths you can take from here. What some people do is they'll head south and they'll go to this military crate, or they'll start here, they'll loot here, go here, loot up, and then they'll go this way, which is kind of like a time saver if you do it that way. And then you could loot up this military area and then make your way north to Dub. And then from there, you could head a little bit more north into this town. I'm not going to try to pronounce it. We'll just call it Dub 2 because it kind of is. Small town again, some buildings to loot, a well. So you're kind of good to top off there. From there, it's kind of personal preference what you want to do, right? Like you're in a straight western shot to the airfield. So if that's something you're going for, you want to go to some big military base where you can find a bunch of kit, then there's your option. Another thing that I've seen people do is from there, they'll go either a little bit more northwest to Severgrad, or they'll go northeast to Krasnostov. And then from there, you're kind of in the northern territory of the map, and you're kind of like set to pick your own path from there, right? The goal of this video is to show you guys different types of paths you can take when you're a fresh spawn. So when you get up here, you've been alive for hours upon hours, right? You by now you have plenty of kit, you have plenty of food, plenty of water. So now it's kind of your decision to on what you're gonna do, right, with your character. But yeah, those are kind of the two routes I would take. One thing to take away is whatever path you decide to go on, map it out in your head before you take off, so that way you can stop at different areas along the way to make sure you're topped off on everything you need to be topped off on, if that makes any sense. Yeah guys, that's kind of it for this video. Like I said, this is just a brief rundown of like different loot paths you can take from being a fresh spawn up to like the northern areas of the map where the loot's really good and there's a lot of PvP. But yeah, let's hop back out to the full cam to wrap up the video. All right guys, that will wrap up for the finale of the DayZ Beginner's Guide series. And like I stated in the intro, I'm trying to figure out what the next best move is for videos for the channel. I think what I'm going to do, since I'm playing Tarkov a lot because of the wipe, I'm going to do some sort of videos related to Tarkov. I'm thinking about doing maybe like a kind of my wish list for Tarkov, if you will. So Tarkov is one of those games that's been in an early state of development for a while now. I've been playing it for a little over a year and a half. So I figured that I could do a video on that and just kind of like give you guys like my thoughts on the game and what I want out of it when it's in version 1. So that's always an idea that I've been thinking about doing. I can also do a beginner's guide series like I did with this format, but for Tarkov. So if that's something you want to see, let me know down in the comments below. But yeah guys, I stream live on Twitch every day of the week. The link for that will be down in the description. Now that I'm back from the holidays and I am in my natural kind of groove of things, I'm going to be live every night. So if you want to click that link, head over and say hi. I'd greatly appreciate it. The link for my TikTok will be down in the description as well. I post my stream highlights there. So if you guys want to go over there, leave a follow and check out the content, I'd greatly appreciate it as well. But yeah guys, Thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, as those will greatly help the channel grow, and I'd appreciate it very much. And yeah, guys, thanks for hanging out and being along this series in this journey of the DayZ Beginner's Guide series. Until next time, peace.